Okay, welcome. So please join the meeting. We're going to call the 2.1 call to order. I will call the Paris Union High School District Board meeting to order at 2:02 p.m. I'm going to ask for a roll call to determine a quorum. Trustee Anaya?
Here.
Thank you. Trustee Stafford?
Here.
Thank you. Trustee Hall?
Here.
Thank you. Trustee Garcia?
Here.
Thank you. And Trustee Campos, me, I am here. We have established a quorum. 3.1, invitation to address the Board of Trustees on closed session items only. Are there any public comments on closed session items?
There are no public comments.
Thank you, ma'am. And moving on to 4.1, we are going to adjourn to closed session. So do I have a motion to adjourn to closed session?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Hall. Seeing no discussion, please vote. Upon a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed, and we are adjourning to closed session at 2:03 p.m. Okay, welcome back. 5.1, the regular board meeting of the Paris Union High School District is reconvening at 5:05. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Raise your right hand over your heart. Right, and ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Maybe just remain standing real quick for the invocation by Trustee Stafford.
I'd like you to please join us in a moment of silence in memory of Cynthia Medina, information technology technician who tragically passed away in a car accident last week. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family during this difficult time. I would also like to add anyone who has experienced a loss recently, or however your mind takes you with that. A moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. 7.1, recess. The board president will recess the meeting to conduct the regular board meeting of the California Military Institute Charter School. So we are recessing the meeting at 5:06 to conduct the regular board meeting of the California Military Institute. The regular board meeting of the Paris Union High School District is reconvening at 5:57 p.m. 8.1, revision adoption ordering of agenda for August 13th, 2025. Before we adopt the agenda, I'd like to request that the item 11.24 in curriculum, overnight field trip request for Paris High School advancement via individual determination students to visit Northern California college campuses from October 27th to the 30th, 2025, be pulled from today's agenda at the request of Mr. Garcia, the Paris High School principal. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Do I have a second?
Second it.
Thank you, Trustee Hall. Seeing no discussion, please vote. On the vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Moving on to oral reports. 9.1, report out of closed session. Dr. Ross.
At this time, President Campos, no report of closed session at this time.
Thank you, sir. 9.2, district update by the superintendent. Oh.
Want to approach the bench, sir?
Are they just, we'll just wait. No way. Kick it back to going 9.2.
Yes,
district update, or
9.2. Yeah,
the
my
report-
apologies.
9.1, sorry.
President
9.1, report of
Campos.
closed session.
Yes, my apologies again. In closed session, by a vote of 5-0, the Board of Trustees approved a settlement agreement with employee 287124 with the Perris Union High School District.
Thank you. So we've already done 9.2, the district update by the superintendent. So we're moving now to 9.3, CSEA president. Oh. Okay. Oh, I was thinking of the CNY. Okay, sorry about that. So now let me go back to you. 9.1, district update by the superintendent, Dr. Ross.
Yes, at this time, that was 9.
What did I say?
The one that I read.
Gosh.
Yeah.
No, you're on 9.2.
Okay. Thank you, President Campos. I'm very excited to announce that Giselle Herrera and Jocelyn Vargas will be officially representing the California FFA at the National FFA Convention this October in Indianapolis. These two exceptional students from our Menifee Heritage FFA chapter earned this honor after being named state champions in the California FFA Fair. Their project combines scientific research with hands-on agricultural methods to study how different planting media affect plant root development. Congratulations to Giselle and Jocelyn Vargas. Wonderful job. Now, I would like to welcome the Heritage and Perris High School FFA students to the podium for their AG program presentations.
The floor is yours.
Hello, board members and cabinet. I'm Arabella Madison from the Menifee Heritage FFA chapter, and today with me I have the rest of the Menifee Heritage officers as well as some officers from Paris. Agriculture education.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm Winter Gill. I'm Madeline Roy, and I'm the reporter for Menifee Heritage FFA.
I am Jadori Patton, and I am proud to be Paris FFA's secretary.
I'm Mia Santos, and I am Paris FFA's sentinel.
I'm Esteban Rivera, and I'm Paris FFA Chapter Treasurer. I'm Jeremiah Palmares, the Paris FFA's reporter.
I'm Elizabeth Alvarado, Menifee Heritage's Vice President of Services.
And I'm Isaac Flores, Menifee Heritage's Treasurer.
So thank you, and I'm going to take a point of order right here and take a personal point of privilege because I owe you an apology. So normally, in my eyesight, it's not good, but I thought that was a military crest. And so that now my references to CMI, and normally CMI is the only ones who come in looking as sharp as you guys do, and I stand corrected. So I apologize for that. That was my mistake, and then I didn't realize, Trustee Garcia was like, oh, that's FFA, and I'm like, okay, that was embarrassing. But, because when you guys didn't leave, I was like, whoa, that's not good. But thank you. I mean, you guys obviously do look, you really do. You look great. The uniforms look great. Thank you for all that you guys do. And, thank you for being here. I know it's not that easy. It's a time out of your day to come and do this, so thank you for that, Ben. And I apologize again for that mistake.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Agriculture education is very
You know what? Go ahead and step up to the mic and, yeah, adjust it. That way, you got the floor.
Thank you. Agriculture education is very unique compared to your normal science class.
I may exemplify this by walking through this 3-ring-based model. The first circle is the classroom. All of our classes are UC-approved go-to-college courses. Our students are also able to gain knowledge to use for their future. The next 2 circles are what make us different from a normal science class. The second circle is SAE. Students may apply what they've learned from the classroom and bring it over to apply to their projects and their SAEs. The third circle is FFA. This is our leadership aspect of our organization. Through FFA, students are able to approve personal growth, gain knowledge, and ultimately have career success, whether it be attending a conference, going to workshops, or simply joining a team. Thank you.
Thank you.
How big is FFA? Ag education became part of U.S. public education in 1917 with the Smith-Hughes Act. 100 years later, we now have 1 million FFA members nationwide and 9,000 chapters. While California is second ranked in FFA members, it has 100,000 and 4,000 members. Our 2 programs are one of the largest in enrollment, having 1.4 NFA members.
Thank you.
Most people hear the word agriculture and they think of our livestock, but sometimes they overlook everything else we do to prepare our students for the future. The ag classes we offer at our schools cover science credits, fine art, history, and have helped more than 80% of our students get into college. Our students don't only use our classes to fill their A through G requirements, but are using these skills to better themselves for the future.
Thank you.
So you hear SAE and you're probably wondering what that is. SAE stands for Supervised Agricultural Experience, otherwise known as projects. Our chapter is awesome in the way that it offers so many of these opportunities to our students, ranging from livestock production and showmanship to nursery production, and even hands-on experiences with classes such as agricultural mechanics to even research projects recognized nationally like Jocelyn Vargas and Giselle Herrera. These are opportunities FFA has given us to better ourselves for our future careers, as well as getting ourselves real-world experiences within the agriculture industry.
We offer plenty SAEs, such as livestock production and nursery production and much more.
So, as you can see, the very top left corner photo, that is a student working diligently in our greenhouse, which, by the way, we have monthly monthly plant sales. So please come by, buy a plant, help us raise money. To stay updated with that info, please make sure to follow our Instagram at ParisFFA, all lowercase letters, and we look forward to seeing you guys there. We also have a few pictures of our students showcasing their showmanship skills in the SoCal Fair, which takes place at the Lake Paris Fairground. We'll love to see you guys visit there. The last picture at the very bottom is a few students practicing their business skills. So we're talking collaborative, clear, transparent communication, just so they'll be able to give you guys the best deals possible.
Thank you.
Make sure to send us an invite.
They do.
Not only do we love spending time with our projects, but we're also loving to one second.
That's it.
Thank you. We also want to sharpen our leadership skills by going to different conferences throughout the year. These conferences are specialized to each grade level, which grow on each other as you go on through the years and go through different ag courses. We also are a part of different leadership development events, which polish your public speaking skills, like getting up here and doing things like this, which we also have a competition like Job Interview, which prepares you for real-time interviews for future jobs. These skills that we're learning at these conferences are not only going to help us through high school, but are also going to help us in our future careers.
On these next two slides, you'll be getting to see a lot of student success through both of our ag departments. As both of our ag departments are two of the most represented ag departments in the state of California. However, I would like to point out two award areas, such as state degrees and American degrees. State degrees are awarded to ag students when they are part of the 3% of California members in FFA. And American degrees when they're in the top 1% of ag members in the country. Thank you.
As you can see, there are many things that we should all be proud of and recognize, but I want to bring attention to our career development event teams. We take our students who participate all around the state and you best believe that we go to win. These kids spend so much time studying practicums, tools, weeds, bugs, all so that they can get the chance to go to state finals and nationals. Their determination and perseverance will truly help them and take them far wherever they dream of going.
Now, I'd like to introduce some of our statistics, but for time, I'm just going to highlight one of our most important ones, that over 80% of PUHSD ag students that graduated, they go off to a 4-year college, a 2-year college, or a technical program to further their education.
Wow, that's great. Wonderful.
Now you may be wondering what these ag students do with the education we have provided them. We have many veterinarians, welders, plumbers, and USDA employees that have graduated from our chapter. And you may be wondering where they get this education from as well. I'm proud to say that we have helped members of our chapter go into top programs in California, such as Chico, Fresno, and Davis. We're also honored to say that we've helped members go out of state into programs like Penn State, Cornell, and Oklahoma State.
Thank you guys so much for your time. Do you guys have any questions? Yes.
Right now we're growing pumpkins for our right now we're growing pumpkins for our September or October plant sale. So yeah.
The other question, have you ever considered, along with your vegetables, maybe I mean, it's just a thought. You know,
Yeah.
but I've been looking.
Well, our chapter actually grows lemons that we usually sell at one of our events. It, I think, is for students near the end of the year.
February. February.
It's a long way away.
So you're producing.
We're producing some. I
Yes,
wouldn't.
we're producing. Yes, we're producing. Yes.
Our students grow a variety of plants. Ms. Marazes is the one in charge of our plants. So she offers our students like a list where they get to choose which plants they get to grow. So there is a lot of variety with student projects as well as things like trees and, like, as I mentioned before, pumpkins, lemons. Oh, we have rosemary.
Other than the growing of the plants and stuff, I have no green thumb whatsoever. So if I go buy something, hopefully you can tell me how to grow it and keep it going. But for your livestock, so what kind of livestock do you guys turn it all the time, or do you keep one set?
We have two pens separating our breeders from our market animals. The market animals are animals that are students, and the students that have the projects are taken care of, and the breeders are taken care of by farmhands who pretty much live and breathe on the farm,
Right.
taking care of, making sure those animals and their well-being is perfect.
So first, I want to say thank you for everything you guys are doing. Since I've been a board member, I try to go to as many FFA events as possible. I wish I got more invitations, but thank you. I do go. I know you guys learn a lot, and it's very beneficial to you and your careers and everybody around you. But one thing I kind of want to instill, which I'm sure you're already learning, is a leader doesn't stay selfish. A leader is always giving, right? So your knowledge and the wisdom that you're getting, especially in these areas of life, I'm asking that you carry that on and pass it on to anyone who's willing to listen. That way, not only your vision grows, but everything about you gets passed on for generations to come, and, the culture of FFA. Because without it, how are we all going to survive, right? So that's like one thing. But, Mr. Stafford came up with an idea right now, and it made me think, are we advertising on social media everything you guys sell, every event? How big are we making this? Are we not making it big enough? Because we need to go bigger. The world needs to know what Paris has to offer, right? Or Paris Union, excuse me, Paris Union. So I want to help you market this a little bit more. So if we could work in that direction, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
You know what? Thank you, Trustee Garcia and board members. First of all, I'm impressed. Like the word that comes to my mind is wow. For several reasons. Number one, I think early on you guys mentioned that you guys, you have an edge, and you're learning something that it probably took me, I don't know, into my 20s to figure out. And the reality is that you guys do have an edge, and the way that you guys present yourself, the way that you articulate, it's mind-blowing, because to see you guys at such a young age advocating for what you do, I mean, the edge, you guys, you definitely have it. So thank you for that, because I think that's representative of your teachers and everybody that surrounds that program. And just know, just like Trustee Garcia says, it's not just you guys, you have a team here. Board members, obviously, who will support anything that you guys are doing, because, we're seeing those trips, it's money well spent. You're educating us on the program, SAE, I mean, thank you for that, because there's so many acronyms in the world, and there's a lot of things that we get thrown out, but for you guys being here explaining this stuff, you're truly educating us on the process. And I will admit a little guilt. I do get invitations, and I haven't gone to one. And so I've been pretty much, but now I apologize. But you know what, though? I think this, to me, gives me something tangible, reason why to go, because I've seen the facilities. I've seen that, but I haven't seen you guys in action. I haven't been in a classroom, and I haven't seen you especially come up and do the presentation that you did here. And the service that you're doing to, like he said, to both communities, to Menifee and to Paris, is like way ahead of the game. You guys put up there the universities. I've visited several of those universities. Fresno State is beautiful. Cal State San Luis Obispo, beautiful. And you guys have an edge to get into those kind of universities, and there's so many others, Chico, a lot of different opportunities that we're providing for you guys. I saw the picture at the Capitol. And so for us, it lets us know that the money that is being spent, and maybe we need more, like he said, maybe we need to grow this, and you guys can be the ambassadors to that, to grow the program district-wide, to go to our feeder schools, and to say, hey, this is why I want to go to a Paris Union school that has an FFA program. And ultimately, it's you and the staff. So staff, thank you guys for the work that you've done here. It's awesome. You mentioned something earlier about networking. I just figured that out like in my 40s. You guys already understand that networking is so important, that you guys build relationships, and it's not about, Heritage or Paris or Liberty or Paloma Valley. It's just about networking. You have a friend at Paris. You have a friend over here, because eventually as you get older, you're going to meet people. Some of you are going to go to Chico. Some of you are going to go to Penn State, all these different places, and you're going to network, and you guys are going to talk, hey, what are you guys doing there? You guys are going to bounce ideas. And so you guys going to those conferences, that's awesome. I mean, I know for me, it's just like, wow, this is great. At first I was kind of like thinking, man, this is kind of like a Shark Tank presentation. Like they're not asking for money or anything, and I kind of wish they would, but it was, I mean, you really did. And like, one of those America's great, I mean, you really did a knockout job. I mean, I'm completely impressed because of your passion, your knowledge of it. That's another edge. I mean, you guys have so many edges right now, and I don't even know what grade you're in, but all I know is you're going to be successful, and it doesn't matter. So thank you for being here. I apologize again for the logo. I'll never make that mistake again. But
President
anyways,
Campos?
yeah, just
President
thank you so
Campos?
much. Yes.
Can we just have the teachers come up and stand with you real quick?
Yeah,
You know,
that
would
the
be-
teachers, they do a great job.
Why don't they come up here and take a picture?
Come on up and
Yeah.
someone,
Okay.
Hey, I just want to add, because of this program, my son is in his third year of vet school because of this program. So it makes very, very important.
When you guys are done, you might come this way and let's face that way and take a picture with the board behind.
yeah. And if there's family here, they need to take family shots, make sure you get them. Take a picture with him because obviously now you're leading this charge. So
Yeah.
if we have the
Both.
administrators from the side.
Mr. Garcia.
We got to give credit where credit is due, so. Thank you very much. That was incredible. That was awesome. Yeah, you really are.
I see.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Smile. And there's someone at her at Small Valley. This is awesome. Thank you so much. No, I really appreciate it.
Feel free to follow our Instagram.
That's okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you're invited to this event.
Great job. Yeah, absolutely. She definitely. And kind of earlier, I mean, I know you guys are busy. If you want to leave at any given time, you're more than welcome to do so. You're not held, to the rest of the board meeting. So you guys can figure that out on your own. Because now we're going to move on with the rest. But thank you so much. That was. I mean, for us, that's like really refreshing to see. Just to see the actual product. You know what I mean? And we don't get to see that too often. So thank you again. What's that? I know. They've got stuff to do. Okay, so moving on to 9.3, CSEA President Cynthia Navarro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, well, I could be closer. Well, good evening, President Campos, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Dr. Arau, Cabinet, and guests. I'm so happy to be here. Let's start with negotiations update, because I'm sure you hear it from the district, but let's hear it from our side, right? And my perception on things, or my perspective on things. So, quick update, CSEA is hoping we come to an agreement on salary and president release time on the upcoming date, August 22nd. And let me just touch on the president release time. I want to be clear, I'm not trying to negotiate with the board. That isn't the negotiation session. However, I believe questions may come up during your meetings, and I want to, help address those if need be. So president release time. So in our contract, we have chapter release time. We have so many hours for the e-board and the negotiations team to use need be. However, president release time, even though we were going for presidential full release time, meaning the president would be full duty president, so they wouldn't be working at their site, they would just be president. It doesn't seem like we can make that work, so CSEA is willing to do half release, just as the teachers. So we're just asking for equity. So let's see. Now it's at the district's hand, and we will see what is decided on August 22nd. But we're hopeful. Ever since I took over in January, I've seen the need. My district has felt, my absence. Because I do get pulled a lot. There's so many things going on, and I'm just trying to be proactive, and not just me, but for future presidents, we need the time. They truly need the time to address concerns and try to be proactive in so many different areas. So just that tad bit. We started the school year very, very positive, with a very positive outlook, very energetic. I know Dr. Arau was at Heritage on Monday, and the CSEA members they said they felt like no other year. I'm hearing this from Paris High as well, like, wow, something about that first day with the band, with the cheerleading squad, and just everything, everyone, the kids coming in, it was fantastic. Our members were really like, oh my God, this is gonna be a great year, and I'm loving that I'm hearing that. So I just really wanted to share that with you. I've already had the pleasure of meeting, with one of our new with one of the new principals, Mr. Garcia, and it was a delightful conversation. I can tell you, we talked for 2 hours. I feel like I knew the guy. I'm like, where have I seen you? So no, it was good, and I'm just hopeful to soon meet with also Dr. La Rochelle and Ms. Rojas. I'm hoping to get into their calendars soon, and also Dr. Williams has already reached out, and I'm hoping to meet with her soon. I've already heard really good things from the business services department upstairs. So they're like, wow, no, she knows her stuff. She's got us. Mm-hmm. So that's great. I continue to appreciate the communication that I have with district leadership. Thank you for that. And just to close, I just want to apologize. I won't be able to stay for the entire board meeting because I will be attending Cynthia Medina's services tonight. We started that this school year, and the tech department has felt it more, but we all came across her, and just thinking about her and her laugh and her patience and her calm kindness, it's something very, very sad. And I spoke with her husband, and he's devastated, and I want to be there for the family, and I knew Cynthia. So I'll pass on your good wishes, but thank you for your time. Yeah.
Question?
Yes.
And just, employee-wise, how many classified do we have?
500. It's like 4, but close to 500. Teachers, I don't know right now. Or, yes, but we're, at about 500. Yeah. Thank you.
Moving to 9.4, PSEA President Jason Miller.
PSA extends its condolences to Cynthia Medina. PSA also extends its condolence to Michaela McGregory. She was a 19-year-old student last year at Plum Valley, and she is the daughter of a paraeducator, Sarah McGregory. We want to announce congratulations to our own PSEA treasurer, who's not here tonight, Elizabeth Smith. She literally had a baby like 2 hours ago.
Wow, congratulations.
And if you don't know about Elizabeth's story, about 1.5 years ago, she lost a 3-year-old daughter. So this was like a big blessing. So, okay. Gonna be honest here. I wish I could say I'm excited about this school year, but I am not. I'm excited to work with students and teachers and teach for sure. What is making my colleagues and I stressed and concerned about this school year is wondering whether administration will support their work or make their work more difficult. The 2025-2026 school year at the Parish Union High School District had a pretty rough start. Teachers and other non-administrative employees were ready for the school year, only to come back to schools that were not. The two biggest areas of concern: classroom orders were not being filled and master schedules were not being ready for teachers. In fairness, those have been fixed or are in process of being close to fix. School supplies the teachers needed for the classroom were not filled. Please understand, teachers are making orders that are crucial to student learning. It's not like teachers are ordering Xboxes and PlayStations. For the second part, it's my understanding that master schedules were done in the spring, but somehow had to be totally redone the last couple weeks before school started, and so they were not ready. Indeed, it was reported to me that the master schedule at Liberty was still being worked on and not even available as late as Friday, August 8th, 2025, with school starting 3 days later. There were other issues that popped up as well, which some could, of which some could potentially be worthy of filling paperwork. But PSEA, we're not going there for now, and hopefully not at all. We are committed to going to work with administration first to solve these things in the short term. So I'm giving you that commitment. We want to be able to sit down, solve these things. We have a PRC on August 20th that I'm very much looking forward to. It's expected that the cabinet will all be there. I'm sure they will. I understand there are administrators that are new to their roles here, but a fair amount of these issues were known about an early to middle spring in 2025, and most of them could have been taken care of. Some of them popped up quickly over the summer, but some of them could have been taken care of back then. Besides, I know we have new people, but school still opens when it opens. We don't delay school opening until October so that the new people can get settled, unfortunately. New administrators need to be able to hit the ground running. It seems like some of them have. Some of them haven't needed to. Teachers and other employees had to really scramble this year, revamping lessons, planning, and in some cases, totally starting new courses they did not know they were going to teach as late as Friday before school started. The district needs to tentatively settle the next salary proposal that PSEA submits, since our members and other non-administrative employees had to work hard to bridge these deficiencies in opening the schools. A district opening like this year cannot happen again. We cannot have school years opening again where the schools are not ready for the students and staff. This applies to all levels of administration, not just the site administrators. We are working with, we do want to work with, and we are working with HR, and we will be working with the other places. Administrators are the bosses, and this is just perspective stuff now. Administrators are the bosses, but I've never seen or heard an official term boss in titles or documents or events. But I have heard the term leader quite a bit. We will thrive and follow you leaders as leaders, and we want to follow you. If you are simply bosses, then we'll just come to work to do our job. I don't want employees to feel like they have to use the phrase, I just work here. I want them to feel like they can use the phrase, I love working here. And many of our teachers have worked here for a really long time, and they really do love working here with either the old guard or the new guard. So I say to leaders, don't get in your own way, and don't get in the way of your employees. If you let them, your employees, your teachers will take care of business. If you let them, your employees will help you win. Thank you for this time to speak.
Okay, 10.1, invitation to address the Board of Trustees on non-agendized items. Are there any
There's-
public comments on non-agendized items?
Yes, there's one.
There's one, thank you, ma'am. And so right before we bring up that speaker, I'm going to just briefly read this, so just listen along and follow the instructions. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation, depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. In addition, the president may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that the additional person speak only if they have something new to add. With that being said, who's our one speaker?
Saima Gonzalez.
Saima Gonzalez?
May I please have a few minutes to address the microphone?
Oh, yeah, no, your time won't start until you start speaking.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes. So, good evening, board members. My name is Saima Gonzalez, and I am the parent of a senior at Heritage High School. I am here tonight because my son's early graduation pathway has been handled in a way that raises serious concerns about transparency, accuracy, and fairness, issues that go far beyond just one student. Last year, what should have been a simple early graduation request turned into 44 separate contacts with the school, district, and even the county, just to get answers that should have been clear from the start. For weeks, I have asked for a short 10 to 15 minutes meeting to review evidence that the district GPA calculation may not be aligned with policy. Instead, I have received vague responses and no written breakdown of how specific courses are weighted. In my own review, using District Policy 6146.1, comparisons with other Riverside County districts, and a statistical analysis, I have found a potential flaw in the GPA equation that Perry Union High School District uses. A miscalculated GPA can directly impact a student college admissions, scholarships, and future opportunities. The lack of clarity isn't just in GPA matters. Just this month, we were told by the school that a course was articulated. The district said it was not. Two colleges, Riverside City College and Mount San Jacinto College, confirms that they were. Only after Mr. Topete personally verified with the colleges, we did get a clear answer. Families should not have to act as their own district liaison to get the truth. As a parent, I believe that if the district does not know the answer, the response should be, I will find out and I will get back to you by a specific date and time. Then follow through. The only person who has consistently done this has been Dr. Egan's. But yet, we still have no clear explanation for the GPA discrepancy. Tonight, I am requesting two things. The first one, a public explanation of the district GPA calculation methods, an immediate review of the equation, and a correction if an error is found. I have provided a very simple Excel sheet to the district that people with even basic algebra knowledge can understand. I can also explain the regression analysis and its implication at a doctoral level. Number two, I want improved training for district staff to ensure accurate, consistent communication with families. I am asking this not just for my son, but for every student whose hard work and future can be affected by unclear and inaccurate district practices. Thank you so much, and I'm done. I have a copy of this.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, moving on to 11. Oh, sorry. 11.1 consent calendar, approval of consent calendar items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Do I have a second? Thank you, Trustee Anaya. Seeing no discussion, please vote. Upon a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Moving on, continuing with oral reports, we've got 12.1 informational budget presentation. Dr. Williams will give us the presentation.
Good evening again, Board President, board members, and to our staff in the audience. Again, I'm not going to do the entire presentation because I think we're clear, so we're going to go ahead and jump to how does this apply to Paris Union High School District. So what we're seeing there is, again, none of this was budgeted in the adopted budget. It all now comes after the state enacted budget was signed. We're seeing that we're getting $733,000 approximately for our learning recovery, and we're getting $3 million approximately for our student support and professional development block grant. So we're seeing an increase in our restricted revenue of approximately $3.794 million that will be evident in our first interim budget. Yes. Yes, that is one of the allowable uses for those dollars. So teacher recruitment could be something such as a stipend for hard-to-fill subjects. That's one example of how it can impact our recruitment. Retention efforts, it could also be used for retention efforts, but again, it's working with the teams and creating a plan, and then just going from there. I don't want to say that you won't see that because we want to look at the budget in totality, but this is an excellent opportunity for us to use these dollars for recruitment and for retention. Thank you for that question. Absolutely. Correct. Yes. Yes, the art, music, and instructional block grant did not have all of these strings attached. It allowed us to support the district in any operational way that we saw necessary. We could use it to help decrease benefit costs to the district. But this particular block grant is very specific. When it first came out, it didn't have all these strings attached. This is a more rigid approach to how the funds must be used the second time around. It's Brent. Yes, yes. Yes. But that's an excellent question, and thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to written reports, 13.1, general functions, quarterly uniform complaint report, summary for April through June 2025. And 13.2, discipline, June monthly suspension report. And then moving on to action items. 14.1, general functions, certificate of signatures. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Anaya. And seeing no discussion, please vote. Upon a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. And we're moving on to 14.3, general functions. Resolution for 04-2526, trustee compensation for missed meeting. So I believe I step away, correct?
You got to vote first.
Wait, is it Stafford first?
Yeah, Stafford first.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, Stafford, I apologize. Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved. Second it.
Thank you, trustee Garcia, and second on trustee Hall. Seeing no discussion, please vote. On the vote being taken, 4 in favor, 1, is that abstain? Yeah, 1 abstained. And I just had one quick question. The resolution number, is that a date, like or it's just a number that's given? It's a number. Okay, got it. So do I read this and then? Okay. So 14.3, general functions, resolution number 04-2526, trustee compensation for missed meeting for me, trustee Campos. Do I have a motion?
You want
carry? Okay.
So moved.
The motion was Mr. Stafford. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Hall, second. Any discussion? Call for the vote. Until she takes it off the board this time. Okay. Yeah. Almost.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, come on out now. He goes back in. Well, I thought we cleared the board.
Yes, we need to clear that. Yeah, we need to clear it for him to come back. Yes, it does.
Because you were busy running on the
Yeah.
line. No,
First time over then, so that worked.
Usually they clear the board so you can't see.
Yeah,
the
you
results
cannot
of
see
the-
who won
of
it.
the
Oh,
actual
yeah,
vote.
no, I didn't see that.
I'm glad you did.
No. Yeah. Okay. But just so I know in the future, do we wait till someone gets us?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, moving on to 14.4, general functions. General functions, review and discuss the consultant services with Hauser Young and Atia and Associates, funded through the general fund in the amount of $12,000 monthly, $12,500 monthly, $150,000 per year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Garcia. Do I have a second?
Second it.
Trustee Hall? Any discussion? Seeing none?
Yes, we have
Okay.
discussion. I had proposed before that we put this on an open PO where we didn't just automatically pay the fee for a whole year. We paid it as they bill us with invoices instead of dedicating $12,500 a month that I don't think last month we even used. I don't use this service, and I don't want to talk against it. They've done things for us in the past. I just don't think we should dedicate this amount of money. We should open a PO and go that route. We talked about it before, so I think we all understand what I'm asking. So,
Thank you. Any other discussion?
I agree with Stafford. I've never used them. I know you guys use them, and I haven't used them, but I just still don't clearly understand the need of the Orbic and Huff and HYA, and it just seems like a lot of excess money being used. But I mean, if you guys are still using them, again, I wanted to see it every so often on here till we can revote it. If you guys decide not to use them anymore, we can vote it out. Future, however it goes.
And so I'm going to touch just to separate two different things. So OHH, Orbach, Huff, and Henderson, they're attorneys. They have nothing to do with this, completely separate. So that's,
But it's like a consulting, we're asking questions, and then from what I was told, we also have that right to go to the attorneys and ask questions to them as well. So that's why I just don't understand the two, why we need both. And then plus F3, we can ask them questions, so just questions, so many consultants and law firms, and I understand they're not together, but this is just where I'm at with my understanding.
okay, so I just want to clarify one thing. So when we discuss legal, We don't just have free reign to discuss legal. Usually, the board president has a certain role. Now, should a board member want to, then the appropriate action would then be to request it with the board president and the superintendent, and then we would grant, obviously, you have access to clarify whatever legal question you may have and to do that. But it's not just something that anybody has that kind of authority. And this is kind of going off, but I'm just trying to clarify that part with the attorneys. So that's separate. The consulting, obviously, we all have access to that. Some take advantage of it more, some do not. And rightly so, the concerns are obviously heard. I don't know if there's anybody else who wants to share anything, or
I just want to clarify, you did talk about it, but we all have access to the consulting firm, and they've helped us in numerous areas, since us bringing them on board, not only with the search for the superintendent and another cabinet member, I believe, but other areas, and especially with the vision, they helped us realign. And that's where we all came in sync rather than on separate, separate paths. So that's where we all come together. But I do recommend you all, if you haven't, reach out to them, have a conversation with them, and maybe you guys could see some of the things that we've seen. Like we talked about, we've got to visit Compton District, and I don't want to say that's our model that we're looking to, but they have a lot of perks that would benefit our district, a lot of similarities, things that we could use to benefit our students and our community a lot. But again, I encourage you to.
No, I understand. I've heard all angles. It's just more of like, how long are we going to use them for? Do we need them still? Like, have they filled what they needed to fill? That's just my question. Every time it's brought up, I'm going to probably bring the same. Are we still needing in them? Do we still need them? Like, obviously the votes are going to be the votes, but just in the case of, do we still need it? There's a point where we might not need them anymore, and at that point, hopefully we won't have to use them anymore. But if you guys still, or however the vote goes, still need it, then we still need it.
For me, being new on the school board, not even finished a full year yet, I have a lot of questions. I'm always asking why. So, and with HYA, they really helped me understand my why and be able to get it across the board on how, whatever I'm presenting or something like that. So for me, it's a really big asset this early on in my seat here. So that's why I use them.
There we go. I do like the idea of an open, is that PO, is that what you call it?
Yeah, open PO.
I like that. I'm not against it, but I think with the agreement that we've had, this is for unlimited services. And I totally understand, but I'm only saying this as a former president. The president is in communication with this consultant quite often, and not everybody knows everything that's going on. And when they come together to create the agenda, a lot of it has consulting, because I'm not trying to say this to be negative. I think when that person's in the position of being president, there's a lot of unknowns. And so that's one of the roles this consultant does, is help mentor you as you're along in your process, because sometimes there's challenges that we'll face in that position. And we speak from being past presidents, and because we can't just run to the superintendent without knowing and understanding what we're getting into in that matter. And
No,
I
the
believe it just
superintendent's
brings clarity.
who you're supposed to run to.
Right. But you have to understand what you're doing. You can't just rely on the superintendent to make the decision on your part. As that role.
You can.
Because we're checks and balances.
You can rely on the superintendent.
You can have the conversations, but you can't just rely on that, is what
No,
I'm
no, I'm sure nobody would just rely on that.
Well, that's
Can
their role.
I say a few things? The first thing that strikes me is the price tag. $12,500 a year per month, I'm sorry. I think it's too costly. It's not fiscally responsible. $150,000 a year. That's another employee. I have no contact with HYA. I respect what they've done for us and appreciate that. But looking from a management leadership point of view, I don't think I could explain this to anybody. I sure wouldn't want to have to, because I'm not the president, you will. So it just, let's be responsible leaders and lead by example. You have resources you're not using. You got RCOE, you got, the county. You've got all these different resources you can use, but yet you choose to pay for an organization that I've never seen a documented invoice of exactly what they've done for us and what I'm paying for. I'm a taxpayer, so I can ask that question. I've sure been asked plenty of times myself. I'm a taxpayer, and everybody says that to us. So it's nothing against HYA. They're a great company, but they're a salesman. Your consultant is a salesman. His job is to sell you his product, his company. And we've been in this situation before. We've had a company, I'll name an example, Synergistic. I worked for them. I had to come to the district. I quit the company. I had to say, that's a scam. That's useless, telling people how to turn off lights. I quit. I went down to their organization, and I saw a bunch of racist stuff on the walls, Confederate artwork and guns and uniforms. And I says, our district doesn't even know who they're doing business with. Now, there's certain guys that are just great salesmen. We've all known them in our lives. They could sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. So this, please don't look at me. Listen, look at your facts. This is what would we call this? This is a luxury. This isn't a necessity. There's no necessity in this. You take this $12,500 and pay for some tests, some things that go directly to the students, and take a little more onus on ourselves to find the free education and use the resources that are here in front of us. We can't just go, there's some other issues that have nothing to do with this, so I won't speak on it, but we have to stop spending money. Does anybody understand? The school districts spend money like it has to be spent. They don't seem to care because it doesn't belong to them, but it does because they pay taxes too. So it's like, let's just go all shoot ourselves in the foot, because this is not, no. This is a no-no. And I say that, I don't think I have to qualify my statements. I worked in this district 10 years. So I kind of know. I've been on this board 8 years, going on 12. I know what I'm talking about. I know when I see a Pied Piper, and that's what you got. So don't go with someone that's going to tell you what you want to hear and tell you like they're the only one that can tell you when the man right next to you could tell you. The computer, everything, they tell me, hey, well, why don't you Google it? Why don't you do it? So what is it that has to be, we have to pay this person? I'm sure there's so much brilliance in the small audience we have sitting right there. So this is taking a position of, oh, I just want this, and I'm going to spend your money because I want it, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm being nice, because there's people out there in the newspapers that ain't being so nice to us right now. And I'm just trying to let you know, let's get it in order before we're all over the paper and everywhere else. Because in my opinion, I speak for nobody but myself, and as being a taxpayer, we need to put more regulation on this. I would go with the open PO. I like that. If you don't like that, however you vote, that's fine too. It's not a, I just feel a little frustration growing because we've been kind of over this a few times. That's why I'm taking a little at length. You guys know my position on this. But I don't think we've had this discussion in open session. And this is where it has to go now, because there's no choice. It's just being done. And we need to make sure we're operating with full transparency on these things. So, sorry, it's a long opinion, but that's my opinion.
I definitely want to thank you for your input, especially for the community to hear everything. you hit it right on the tee, to be honest with you. $150,000, and we have a $200 million budget. It's only $150,000. Because of this consultant, we have a lot of new policies in place now that are benefiting our students. It's only $150,000 that are benefiting our students. But that $150,000 is being multiplied 100-fold. And that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at it as, oh, it's a consultant, only a handful of people are utilizing this resource. I could only speak for myself. When I can't get a hold of them, I will call the consultant because I can, because I have access. You have access. And I think it's fair. You're right. Let's have this conversation. As long as we utilize them, we could justify from our position. If you don't utilize them, I would take your position too if I was in the same situation. So I respect that. I like it. I'm just telling you, for me, $150,000 is a no-brainer compared to the $200 million that we have to reinvest. We have to find a way to make work. And I think this is called responsible spending. This is just my perspective. And again, I'm going to leave it at that because that was great. I like what you said.
So I'm going to touch on a couple things that you referenced. Number one, I'm a taxpayer as well, right? I think we all are. So the other thing too, you talked about fiscal responsibility. You mentioned several acronyms of institutions that we operate with. Now, it's my understanding that we've been working with all of those organizations, and no offense to staff. So some of the things that I might say, it's not personal, but it's factual, and it's one of the reasons why I've chosen to stay with this. Without this consulting services, we would have never found out that we own Panther Park. Nobody ever mentioned that. We have over $1 million in annual salaries from cabinet. That was never brought to our attention. Dr. Rouse had mentioned when he went to talk to Mayor Vargas was the one who informed him of that. And we also were the ones who we were consulted to get an asset, basically management of a property. What do we have? We've been paying 150 to 200, and my numbers might be wrong, 150, 200,000 in maintenance on a property we didn't know we owned. My question is, why were we paying that? I don't understand that. That to me is fiscally irresponsible to be paying for something that you didn't even know you owned. So why were we paying it even though we owned it? So there's a lot of things that confuse me as to what's going on. Our charter, the former cabinet had been here, and board members had renewed that charter probably under your term, maybe once or twice. Our charter is not looking good. That came up through consultation of our consultants. In reference, ours, I mean, I'm guesstimating, it's maybe 50 pages. A normal charter is about 150 to 200 pages. Now, our charter is very important to the big picture. And so it's, as you can see, there's a lot of great things going on there. And again, no offense to management and the teams that were going on, but we would have never known that. We would have never known a lot of the things that we now know today. And like Trustee Garcia said, we're moving in a different direction. I use the service regularly, constantly, because I'm in year 3 of my board membership, first year in my presidency, right? So there's a lot of things I don't know. I'd be arrogant to say that I know it all. I'd be naive, to say that I know it all. And so I don't want to be either of those. I want to know how to properly, fiscally, responsibly manage the district $200 million budget from my perspective. I do understand there are costs of businesses. There's a cost of business in order to do that. Now, I'm well aware of that. For me, and I can't speak for you guys, but I've used this service regularly on a lot of different things. Some things I'm like, okay, thanks for the information. Sometimes, okay, that's something, that I need to consider, and maybe we need to move it forward. Now, I have my own thoughts as well. It's not like I'm just getting all of it from them. Like I said, we've talked in the past. I consult different people. It's board members, different people within the world of education, a lot of different people, a lot of different networking, to try to make the best decisions on how to run this organization from at least my one vote and my seat. And I feel that this is an expense. Now, obviously, I think some people have reviewed the contract and understand how the contract works. If you haven't read it and you don't understand it, I recommend that you read it and understand it the way it's laid out.
it's pretty clear. If you look at the last paragraph, it's pretty clear. We have a wide variety of services. Now, we might not take advantage of all of them. At the time when we first put them, we were hiring for superintendent, assistant superintendent, and we still have those services. And sometimes we've chosen to not use them. Whether that's, we're all in agreement of that or not, that is part of it. But for me, I believe, in reading the contract, it's laid out the way it is. It's pretty clear, pretty open. Read that last paragraph. Read what they offer, how it's laid out. It's a monthly contract. Well, I'll leave it at that. I'll just, if you haven't read it thoroughly and don't understand it, I recommend you do. And if you have questions, you can talk to Dr. Rouse about the contract. You can talk to the consultant and understand clearly what is there. Now, at the same time, again, it's there for you to use for whatever it is that you want. There are things, if we want to move Paris Union into the future and to different things, we have to know kind of what's going on down south, down north, to the west of us, to the east of us. And I believe that when we need that information, if we're looking at organizational structure, we have 10,000 students. Is our superintendent the most paid, or is he paid for what he's made there? Our cabinet members, do we have the same amount? Do we need the staff that we have in comparison to others on the school? Now, everything's got to be comparable. You can't compare us to a K-12 that has 25,000 students, because that's not different. But if you were to look, we have a lot of the similar positions that these larger school districts have. Now, there's a lot of information, a lot. I don't know how many assistant superintendents people have, how many directors, coordinators. I don't know those things. I don't have the time to know those things. I'm not being paid a large salary to know those things. But we have people, like you said, here at our disposal to ask, and we also have a consultant. And so sometimes I think, sometimes within the organization, and I've said this in the past, sometimes we'll get what they want us to hear. I don't want that. I want what we need to know, what I need to hear. That comes from the community, that comes from staff, that comes from all kinds of different references, And so for me, in order to properly do my job, I need access, I need information. I can Google stuff on my own, and sometimes I don't have time, because I have a life, I have a family, I have kids, and now I have a grandkid. I have all kinds of things going on. And so, but I can task, the consultant, hey, this is what I need. This is what's going on. And so for me, again, I think in the past, things have happened that should have never been happened. That fell under whoever's up here on the dais, fell under their radar, that they weren't even aware of. And that has stopped, and primarily because of this consultant service. Now, at the same time, if we deem that by October of 2025, we no longer need them, it's very simple. We submit, hey, thank you for your services, we're moving on, and there's nothing there. It's over, the contract ends. So that's kind of one of the luxuries we have. We can stop at any moment. Now, personally for me, there's a lot of things that, in my opinion, are undone. That I still have a lot of questions. I will be honest, sometimes, if I go to staff, I get a little resistance on some of the things. There's some, and again, it goes back to experience. Maybe we lack some experience in certain areas. I think we all lack experience. Just because someone gets a job in this position doesn't mean they have they have all that experience. They get the job as a director, coordinator, teacher, aide, tech, superintendent, cabinet members, and it may not be their expertise. They're learning on the job. We would like to think that when a teacher goes to administrator, that they're experts in ed code, that they know everything. They're experts in government code. The reality is most people are not. The only time, and I'm speaking from experience, the only time I've ever have to dealt with ed code is when I needed it. I thought something was being violated, so I looked up ed code. Well, what does it say about this? If it's an EL thing, I look up EL ed code. Then I educate myself and I understand, okay, now I'm dealing with administrators who are saying that we shouldn't do this or we can't do that, and they're telling me to look at this handbook, and I'm looking at the handbook and it says, well, the handbook says this. Ed code says this. What's your response? And I'm not talking about parents, I'm just talking in my experience. Then they're like, oh, that's a good point. And I realized, guess what? They haven't read the handbook. So then I questioned, well, who wrote the handbook? Did anybody read it? You know, why is it that I know this, you know, being a PE teacher, and it's an EL issue? So I've learned that I need to educate myself. I understand, and I'll give grace to everybody, to every staff member. We don't know it all. You know, they have people that they lean on to get information so that they can make their best decision. And I think we, as a board, we're elected by the community, that we need access to information so that we can make the best decisions that we can in moving the district forward and trying different things. Now, sometimes we're going to try things and they're going to be successful, and sometimes they're not. And that's okay. We tried. You know, hopefully we're not doing it, you know, just willy-nilly. But for me, you know, in closing and to end, I mean, I think that so far, kind of like Trustee Garcia said, it's costly, but it's the cost of doing business. And I think that cost has probably mitigated a lot more money down the road, because who knows, you know, now we've got the charter kind of moving. Now we know what to figure out with the property, you know, I think there's a lot of different things. And not having that, we would have continued down the path that had always been taken. And so now we've kind of changed direction. So with that, that's, you know, what I have on the discussion. So if there's any other
I do, actually. It's not discussion yet. I'd like to amend what we have going on here, because item 14.4, it's a action item. It's a yes or a no vote. But under the conditions of supporting what's listed, it said if the board chooses to continue with the consulting services, HYA will be required to submit a monthly itemized invoice that clearly details the specific activities and services performed along with corresponding dates, rather than submitting a general statement indicating that consulting services were provided. I would like to remove that. That is my amendment, and I will explain why, but after you do the first and second.
Okay. So,
because it's a yes or no vote under action, right? So now. Original contract that we have as for the consulting firm, we could terminate at any time, just a month's notice.
Can I just have Dr. Williams?
Sure.
What she needs on her end for business services?
Currently, the contract that we have, and the last item that went to board was in February of 2024, and it stated that it was for the 23-24 budget. We've been getting invoices as of July 1, and we don't have a contract in place or a board approval. So if I'm understanding this correctly, the decision is to decide if we're going to move forward, then we'll need to bring back a contract so that it can be approved for the 25-26 school year.
Okay,
Because the
also-
language in the
also-
contract does not say that it's ongoing. It's saying that it was approved for the 23-24 budget.
can you, do you know where in the contract? I mean, you might have different information, and I don't know if I brought it with me. Oh, but, okay, so that being said, well, what I don't know is I don't see what has changed in terms of, now, are you basing this decision off, or this request off of a government code, or is there, just so I
Wait,
understand?
so if we could go back, I'm making a motion to amend it, and we still have to get the first and second, and I said, I'll give you my reasoning after we get the first and second to have discussion. We're not honoring Robert's Rules of Order by having this piece of the conversation.
Okay, so, but now that, I believe she kind of requested, so.
So there was a motion and a second. Why don't you make the amendment? You're making. The motion was not to move ahead.
No, that's not my understanding.
So the second paragraph says, if
Right.
recommended by the superintendent. Board is the one determining if everyone has that.
And if I may add,
And-
this is the requirement for all invoices coming in for vendors who are doing work for the district. That we need, even our legal provides itemized documentation on a monthly basis. If they provided services in special ed or if they provided services in HR, all of that is itemized on a monthly basis. So this isn't anything that's not normal process.
Okay, that was one of the next points I was going to make. So in regards to itemized, I want a generic itemization because there are confidential subject matters we do discuss with this firm.
And I definitely understand that. And with legal, those invoices usually come only to business services and directly to the CBO so that no other staff is able to see that. But that's how legal submits their invoices on a monthly basis.
And just to add, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Just to add, because you mentioned that paragraph was added by the superintendent, that one, if the board chooses. And yes, that's correct. Let me just remind the board that we have talked about this, and in the last review of the agenda, I asked, hey, remember, Mr. Campos, you said that you were going to request this itemization. You said, oh yeah, I want to ask about it. And this came, and I think that is an important thing because Trustee Hall, I appreciate all your input, sir. You're really well. When we are reviewing the agenda and we have a contract to provide services to students for $3,000, $4,000, the questions has been, what services are they providing? Well, there is a description of the services, right? And then how do we know that those services can be provided? Well, we have a log and things like that. They meet with the students, but how do we know that they did that? What they are saying is true, right? So based on that interpretation and the level of accuracy, right, that we need to have from our providers, we consider, and we have discussed, and it was agreed. Even Mr. Campos in the last agenda review agreed, and Trustee Hall, to ask for that desegregation of what we are doing. If we go to the open POs, it's your decision to get a consultant, right? And I don't have any say on that one. Even though I can provide and we can provide a lot of the answers from that perspective. Trustee Garcia is right when he said that I learned about the Panther Park because my monthly meetings with, Trustee Campos, yes, Trustee Campos, with my monthly meetings with Mayor Vargas. But let me just clarify here, probably it's a small confusion, Trustee Garcia. All the information after I learned that, so it was not the consulting firm, the one who provided that info. I got it through Mayor Vargas. It was wonderful input. And then through one of our law firms, they presented that, and they were the ones who did the investigation, right? So when that came, and I'm glad that I had this opportunity because sometimes things get confused, right? And mixed up. That was not directly from the consulting firm. In terms of CMI, right? When it was presented to me at the beginning that the consulting firm was saying, oh, there are only 12 pages and it should be normally 80 or 100. Yes, Trustee Garcia. James. Yeah. We came up, and the law firm was the one who clarified the status in terms of CMI, and we came up to the conclusion the consulting, and let's be very transparent here, right, was making it appear that Paris Union High School District developed only 10 pages for the charter approval, which usually is 100. Well, through the analysis and the support of the legal firm, we learned that it was CMI, the one who was doing the 10 of 12 pages, not Dr. Dodson right now, but previous years. And CMI presents that to Paris Union High School, and we approve it. So it was not the consulting services. But that is another thing. The reason that it was there, that paragraph, it was following the position of some board members on very descriptive, right? We want to ensure the services that were provided. And again, I put it there also because we talk about it informally, and it was agreeable to do that. So I said, okay, we are going to make it official because it's not happening. The invoice just says consultant, month of July, $12,500. That's it. Yeah. And in terms of
Definitely add more to it. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
But if I may, the reason why I'm recommending removing that, and I'm willing to work with whoever we have to work with, but let me just say this portion. As a board member, when we hired HYA, one of the main reasons was, one, we don't want overreach by district employees, and we were reminded where the checks and balances, and we forgot that during that struggle. And I call it a struggle because there was a lot of lack of information. This is before you, Dr. Rouse. And believe it or not, I heard what you're saying about Panther Park. Yes, but it didn't come to our attention until we consulted with HYA about Panther Park and about our assets, other properties, the land,
Edward.
all that information.
Edward.
So I want to be clear. That is why I'm asking about that, but I also want to go back to where we were on my amendment. So if we could move forward, please.
If we could just correct something, there's a couple of people in this room that did know we own Panther Park, myself being one, and Hector Gonzalez being another. There was no mystery about Panther Park. Even, what's the park over by Pennicati? Rotary? We own a little piece of that too.
Right.
So what's the big deal? How does that compare to anything?
these-
You guys are
I
going
don't-
around and round and round and round and round,
Sure.
but you're not making no sense.
Okay. I'd like to bring it back to where I'm at.
Okay, well,
No,
so-
if I may, hold on.
Okay.
I'm asking for the amendment to be voted on, and we are going around and around because we're talking about other things. I'm asking, can we go back to vote on my amendment, please?
You have the amendment written? I'm a little lost on kind of where we're at.
yes, but Trustee Garcia is saying that he wants to remove the paragraph that I added.
I'm willing to agree.
remove paragraph
Wait, how about we just do this? I'd like to make a motion. We move forward with the contract with slightly more information of detailed of services that they're providing, not necessarily specific and confidential conversations that the district or the board may have with the consultants, because the consulting firm is there for everyone.
So now, the only question that I have on that is, the contract's not going to change. The contract is there written as is. I mean, it's providing all the services that are on that contract. No, I do not remember seeing a date on there. It's year to year. Right? Well, it's open until we close it now. But I do want to address a couple things. And this is, I think, where, so Tony, you just made a reference that you knew that we own Panther Park. Hector knew that, but Dr. Arauz didn't, because he wouldn't have asked the mayor to ask to pay for that property, to help him pay for it, if he would have known that information. So see, that's part of where some of this is coming. That's
Do we
important
have
information.
to
Now-
go back and forth
No,
and
no,
so
no.
worried about what one said and what
no,
another?
I understand.
Can we
Well,
just come back to a vote and conduct business for the community?
And I'm okay, well, see, I think this is the discussion, it is the discussion for the community, because there's different types of contracts. You have legal contracts, you have consulting contracts, they're under different parameters. And so, we have an existing contract. Right now, what I see is we're voting for something on a kind of up-down to continue or to not continue. I think having this discussion and having all the questions, I know how I'm going to vote in my mind, because I'm not completely confident that everything is operating as it is, as it should. And so, I mean, if we're going to make an amendment and you want to delete some stuff, I agree on the simplicity of it. And a few things. There's been different things that have happened. I think under your presidency, you didn't have to sign, I know after, it's been the past couple months, I have to sign a separate document that I don't remember you were signing, and I just don't understand
what changed or what led to that process. So there's a lot of things going on that are irregular, in my opinion, but I don't know. So it's kind of like, okay, well, and to go back, and I know that you made references to a couple things. We hired the consulting firm before we had you. So when we had a plan as to what they were provide the services, one of the things was to take a look at our property and our assets. So that was way before you. So I give them that credit because they were the ones that told us kind of, hey, this is the plan that we need to do and we need to start for, fiscal audit, different things. And so for me, that's why. And I just want to make sure that people understand what's going on out there. And I this has come up, I think, a couple times, and it's just like, okay, I don't know if people have read the contract or understand how the contract works, but it's not something that you can bring up every month. We don't bring up attorney contracts every month. We bring them up usually once a year, and it's usually so that because we're increasing their fees and we're moving forward. So, I mean, at this point, to go back to where you're at, are you requesting that we remove paragraph 2, or?
Well, you guys keep bringing up comments and statements that make me want to keep adjusting. How can we simplify it, right? So I want to make the motion. If we want to keep it, it's a simple yes or a no, right? But I also want to please the district and give them some information. I just think when it's confidential, it needs to remain confidential. That's my opinion. So how do we simplify this motion of this contract to continue ongoing until we decide we need to terminate it? Until you get your fulfillment, okay, we're done with the services, or, well, all of us as individuals, right?
Yeah.
And I do love the idea is pretty much kind of like an on-call basis. I love that idea. I think it should be like that for everybody. But I also understand a contract. I understand everything they're offering because I have utilized them myself. And there's a lot of benefits for our district and our students that they're receiving these benefits already. And I love it. That's why I'm a board member. I'm here to advocate for our students. And sometimes as a board member, being checks and balances, we're not just dealing directly with the students, we're dealing with other people, other businesses, community members, politicians, activists, everything, government. So yes, I want to simplify it. Why complicate things? Let's give the kids the best that we can. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to talk about the money, but let's just find a way to vote and make this right.
Trustee Garcia, one more thing, please, that you addressed that I think is important just to mention in terms of the confidentiality, right? When we get the invoice from our legal firms, they are specific on what the discussion was, and that is confidential information. And how Dr. Williams mentioned, our staff who handles the invoices are confidential. So that wouldn't be a concern in terms of the segregation. And with that, doing that description of everything, we are also addressing the concern of another board member in terms of making sure that the service has been provided, right, and how much we are getting. Once again, the board has the right to get a consultant, but how you do it, I like it. Nobody's asking my opinion in this perspective, but I like what Trustee Stafford and you are saying, because that's how we handle our legal counsel, right? So as a consultant, right? And we have consultants also during this transition with the business department that they were charging us on a service provided, right? Open PO, a PO. Is open PO?
And
open
I
PO.
understand
Yeah.
that, but I
so
also
that can be
understand that
can
this
be
is
an
a
option
business as well.
Yeah, but it's your decision, right? But however, I just wanted to tell you that is an important element about the desegregation of those contacts. In that way, all the board knows what those that information is provided, right, to each of you. But it's your decision.
See, that's where I think differently to an extent, because we're always talking about the Brown Act. How do we stay within the Brown Act? How do we not violate the Brown Act? And that's why I'm trying to protect us with the confidentiality and keeping it as, I don't want to say limited. I want to be transparent. And when we have the conversations, that's when it's the conversation. But in the billing, I need to protect that area.
Because when I've seen the legal bill and it doesn't give specific information, it just says phone call this long, this hour. So that's
I'm
why
good
I'm
with that.
wondering
I'm
where the
good with that,
confidential
yeah.
part is I mean, I don't want to know who's using it. It's just as long as we're using
Well,
them,
that's
we're
what
using
this
them, you know?
looks like, and that's what I'm
Oh,
trying to
so
protect.
that's why
Yeah.
I'm understanding
Right,
that part.
we're actually on the same page with
Yeah,
that. Like, they want to do the phone conversation,
Now,
that's
the
cool with me.
reason why I also want to clarify, I was connecting Orbic and Huff and HYA because you mentioned that it was HYA that did the park and that they did the charter, but then when it was presented to us, it was
It was
presented to
Orbic.
Orbic and Huff.
Yeah.
So that's why, no, you don't have to explain yourself. That's why I'm telling you why I'm connecting the two. So that's the only thing I need to say.
So maybe I could look, since Alfredo is the kind of designated
Parliamentarian.
is there a simple way to make a motion to clean up this language here, very simple way, and just put us in a position to vote to extend the contract or not? And the little adjustment me and Jamie were talking about. Mrs. and I apologize. I want to remove, truthfully, I really want to remove the second and third paragraph. Just because it makes it messy to me. Simple, short and simple. Yeah, but,
Right, but
but it
with-
says if the board chooses to continue, because now this is a legal document.
So
I just find this a little messy.
just
be
to
honest with you.
understand,
Well, yeah.
so just to understand, Trustee Garcia, you don't want on the invoice to be a itemization of the services similar to the attorney without getting into the gist of the discussion?
That's not what I'm saying, because
Okay,
now that makes,
yeah, that's why I want to clarify that it's
kind of
not.
looks like finger pointing,
Yes.
so I know what you're
Yeah,
saying.
that's why I
That is
want to
not what I'm
clarify so
saying.
it's not get
What I'm
misinterpreted.
trying to say is
Yeah.
because of the language on the agenda as an action item, which is 14.4, it does expose those private confidential conversation. I don't like that. As board members, we're supposed to be the checks and balances. And I know this is like finger pointing. I don't like how I'm coming to say this, but this is the first thing that's popping in my head of what the district is doing. That is our job.
Sorry, I'm not
No.
understanding, because what I'm getting is just a
I
simple
don't want to
phone call was made.
violate the Brown Act.
I know, but so the legal itemization never has details of what was said in the conversation. Like
Yeah.
the
I haven't
details-
seen that, but that's how I'm
Well,
interpreting this
so
right
for
here.
example, the one that we just received in our email, it just gives a brief description of what, there was a phone call made. Doesn't say what the phone call was, doesn't say who made the phone call, or it does actually, but it doesn't say
Yeah.
what was said, what was it, very brief, just very brief.
But that's
Nothing
from the attorney, right? Now, this is a consultant. Yeah, that's how they do
So
it.
that's why I'm trying to understand, like, where is the confidentiality being broken?
Brown
Because
Act, because once you have that information, another board member and another board member,
that
there
a
are more.
phone call was made, so if a phone call was made, that's a Brown Act violation that I know you made a phone call?
It depends on the conversation.
But the conversation is not being
Did
displayed.
that conversation turn into an action item, become agendized?
But that's not all being.
I don't know. I don't want to know because I don't want to be in violation of the Brown Act.
That I'm understanding from what I've seen, an example of, there's like not a lot of information on there, just the phone
And I
call was
want,
made
I
and then
want
the
to
bill
say,
was made.
because I really have a lot of faith in this new board, or excuse me, this new cabinet. I do. I believe in them. That's why I supported the hiring. In the past, we didn't get all the information that we've asked. In the past, we got different versions of what really went down. So how do we know exactly? So in the meantime, because it appears, and it's about perception too, it appears that certain people from the district don't like the fact that the board has control over a consultant. That's what it appears like to me. And I'm trying to look at it at everyone's lenses. But the truth is, the board is the final say-so for every hire and every fire. And that's what all the lawyers have told us, and they've been crystal clear. we are the final say-so. If our name's attached to it, we're the final say-so. So if we're respecting boundaries, if we're respecting Brown Act, if we're respecting each other, it is what it is. Why does this matter keep coming up? It's because it just appears things are different than what we think. And not everybody has the same perspective. And I know that's kind of confusing, but I have a perception, you have a perception, and so forth. And I just want this simplified because if people are using them, I don't see a loss here. I see nothing but gains, that, and the momentum we have will be hindered if we don't keep utilizing them. And I'm only saying that because we're really reaping the benefits. We really are. And it shows, especially with our hires. You know, if we knew everything, we wouldn't need them. That's just how I feel. What can we do to simplify the language and just have a vote?
I get it. Like, for example, a membership, a gym membership, you pay for it, you use it, you don't, right? But you still clock in and you scan your barcode and it's shown when you're in and out of the gym. It doesn't give like how long you were there. It doesn't give when you checked out. It doesn't say what. So that's what I'm understanding. Like, it's almost just a record. Just a record is what what they're asking for. And I don't understand why it's so hard to give that record if it's a legit company and.
And I've said, I don't mind giving a small capture of what the conversation is.
Yeah.
But it should not be in detail so we don't violate the Brown Act.
Yeah.
Because there are many conversations that have to be held, especially with attorneys, right? But that's protected under, you know.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. It wouldn't give details. Like they said, most,
well, that's what I'm hoping
most
for, but
companies
according
don't
to that, it doesn't look like
details
that. Because
of conversations.
it says itemized invoice that clearly details the specific activities and services performed. That's why I'm having an issue with it.
Okay.
It is crystal clear, specific.
Maybe describing the general details, Trustee Garcia? Would you be comfortable describing or including the general details? General details. Yeah, maybe we can do that. Yeah. And I want to address another thing because I think it is referring to cabinet, and you mentioned. First of all, I want to say thank you because you said that you trust the cabinet. But also you mentioned, Trustee Garcia, you know, I'm very upfront with you. You mentioned that there were some things about the previous administration, and that's why you implying that that's why you are doing this. If you trust us, Trustee Garcia, show it to me. Trust me. Trust us that we are for doing the best for you, you know? Because
I'm going to say it as generic as can be. You're here, aren't you?
Well, hold on.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Hold on.
But let me just finish.
I think I think we need to move to a vote because here's the way that I see that. Because in you stating that, that's basically you saying you don't trust us or have confidence in the decision-making that we're making. This is basically going in a direction that I don't want to see. This conversation needs to end. So what we need to do, I think everybody's heard the decision. If we want to make the recommendation to move that second paragraph, let's remove it, and we can make that amendment, and then let's take the vote. Because we're going to be here all night going back and forth, and I just don't like the direction that this is moving, because it seems like now we're pointing fingers, and... Okay, so I'm on the first, or is Garcia the first? Who's the first?
Trustee Garcia.
Okay, I'll be the second. Hold on, point of order. If you guys want to have a backdoor conversation or something like that, that's fine. Right now, let's just take care of the business at hand and we can move forward. Did you remove paragraph 2? You know what, just simplify it, remove paragraph 2. It just seems like, that's, I think, what we're getting into, that I mean, if this was written, I guess, in a way where it was simplified and we can do that, I would be okay with that, or.
What you were suggesting, general?
So do you want to wipe out paragraph 2? Because then it makes it really general. We're asking here, that's what we're doing.
That's probably the easiest thing for the moment. Yes.
Right, well, and again.
We could come back and talk about it so that way everybody has the opportunity. Maybe is this something we have to have a meeting about?
Let's move forward with wanting to
Ratification so that we can pay the bills that we receive. Look at the board agenda, the one that was approved on. What was attached there is outlines all of the services, but there's really no true contract.
That contract, I think, was before that. So we do, you might not have seen the contract, and that's, I think, part of the confusion. I think a lot of people haven't read the contract, don't understand what's in the contract. And I'm sure you do, because you understand legal contracts, you understand professional service contracts because they're different. You know, there's all kinds of different things. There's government codes. There's a lot of stuff that's there. And right now, to be quite honest with you, I don't know why we stopped paying them. No one ever told us that we stopped paying them. That's litigation. When we stop making payments, we've had a conversation about what happens when that happens. And so, you know, with all due respect, you know, I'm not feeling the most confidence right now. So I'm confident with this firm, with this contract, that's for sure. And so that's why I'd like to take it to a vote. I mean, if we can figure out how to remove that, then I think it simplifies the contract, because there is a contract and you might want to get that to her so that she can see all the services. And then, like I said, mentioned earlier, there's the bottom part of it. That's kind of a lot of the nuts and bolts. A lot of the other stuff is all the other things that are there. You know, but then in terms of the monthly rate and all that other stuff, that's kind of there. And well, you know, you'll understand at that point. So, I mean, for now, I think we just need to move on. And because I think we brought this for an action item, and this is why I wanted it as an informational item, because there was a lot of things that, you know, and to be honest with you personally, and I apologize, Trustee, and I had thought that you had wanted it as an informational item, not an action item. So he and I, on the board review, we kind of didn't realize if you wanted action. He said action, I said informational, because there was some things written in there that I felt we had to have a discussion about before we made it an action item, but that didn't happen. And so, like tonight, I thought we got a lot of information, and then we could have moved on and then gone on to action. But we've gotten a lot of information, but the way it was agendized, and I wanted it to be informational, it's an action item. So we have to take action on this contract. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts, and I think, I don't know how much time we spent on it, but
you know, and honestly, I appreciate this conversation. I'm hearing it all, and it's good to give that information to the public, and it's good for us to all have this conversation openly and candid. So I did want it as an action item. It doesn't have to be every month. It's every whatever 6 months, whatever you guys can agree with. Between
that's in the contract. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
that information's in the contract. So it's not something that we're doing every 3 months, every 6 months. The information is in the contract, and again.
Okay, so then I guess we can do information just so we can all be informed. Like, I want to know: we still need them? Are we still using them? And then you guys saying, yeah, okay, cool, we vote on it and we move on. So hopefully in the future we don't need to go into this depth, but it's good that we did. No, just this one.
This is the action. I mean, this is the only one right now.
Yeah.
We can refer any other ones.
Well, it's a monthly, according to you guys. I don't want to talk about this every month.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's monthly. You guys said it was monthly.
Yeah.
I said it was ongoing. She's saying it expired.
Well, from what I understood, this is a month-to-month contract
It
payment.
is that we can
So
also
I don't want to talk
cancel.
about this every month.
Right.
But
And we should.
it's more like every 6 months. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. We're using it. We're not, and then move forward.
Again, that's going back to the details of the contract.
If we get to a point where we don't utilize them, we update and the president has a conversation with the superintendent, and they decide to move forward on the item on the agenda or not.
One of
They make the agenda.
Trustee Campos,
I know under my leadership, when I was there, if you had something you wanted on the agenda, I put it on whether I agree with it or not. Why? Because that's my vote. Doesn't mean it's every.
Well, yeah, I would like it. I would like to talk about it openly with everyone. Even if we're using, even if you don't want, I mean, it's not a big. To me, if you guys are
Could be
utilizing them,
informational.
I don't see the big deal.
That's informational.
Okay, well, information then, I guess.
Let's just be transparent here. I put this on the agenda before, and it was pulled by the president.
Correct.
So let's just be clear. Ed, we were there. All I said was open PO. Why did we need to go through an hour of all this? Why? We were there. You guys, you too, have been taking all the time for the last hour, going round and round and round. You've repeated yourself numerous times. You won't listen to the advice you're given. Not the first time you've done that. Sat in a room for who knows how long. So decisions need to be made. We were there. Why all this runaround and all this? I don't get it.
I guess another reason is because every 2 years we're gonna either have the same or different board members. So that's another reason why I wanted to keep it an action item. So it could be revoted if needed. We can move it every year if you guys see it, you know, that's just the things that are going through my head.
Now, so are we going to do that with every contract we have? That and a lot of them,
No,
obviously,
this
like,
is- 'cause this
it
is a
seems like we're
contract
bringing them
that's-
up.
it
This
seems-
isn't the first time this has come up. That's
Yeah.
That's why I pulled it last time, because if you read the contract, we can terminate the contract at any time
Yeah.
during 30 days. But what we're doing is we're renewing a contract that hasn't been canceled. Therefore, it doesn't need to be renewed, which is why I removed it. It's an understanding of how we're to properly do business. And I think that there's a misunderstanding on how some things are supposed to be done. There's contract language that's there. And again, my concern is why haven't they been paid? They've been paid, there's never been a hiccup, right? But all of a sudden, there's something going on, and I'll be honest, there's something going on beyond us that's happening, conversations that keeps bringing this up, because I just don't understand.
On my end, I will tell you, with me, when I saw the invoice, I was like, that's a weird invoice, and I've never used them. This is why no one's in my ear. I don't really talk to anybody outside of our meetings. This is just my personal.
And that invoice,
and
I've
then-
only seen it twice.
Yeah.
He didn't ever see it.
I've seen it once, and it was just to show you, like, this is, you know, and I've seen it. I mean, I'm an adult. We get invoices, we get bills. I want to know what I'm being billed for. So if we're voting on this and this is our vote, I just would like to see it come up, not just be voted one time and we're going to keep them indefinite. Just like every year we have the contracts renew. I see new contracts all the time on the agenda. So that's why I was like, well, how come this isn't being, you know, I don't want to see it every month. I was more like every 6 months. Let's just vote it back in or leave it out or whatever the case may be. But that was my reasoning behind asking, and it wasn't, no one's in my ear. It's just my way of seeing invoices that kind of threw me off a little bit. And then again, I might use them in the future. I don't know. I want to utilize them. I just haven't found the reason to. And you guys have been here longer, so you have those reasons. But that's just my standing on asking for that.
And again, the contract, it's ongoing. So it's not like we have to have a meeting every 6 months to renew. If you want to remove the contract in October, then you bring that and we vote on it. It's that simple. Either we continue or we don't. We have a vote, we move on, next item on the agenda. You know what I mean? And that's not where, this is kind of, this keeps coming up. And again, like I said, that was one of the reasons why I brought it off, because we had already talked about it prior to that. And so, I'm kind of at a loss, and I know Tony says that we're going around in circles, but again, have people read the contract and all the services? I'm just saying read it. And if people understand what it is that's there, then I think this conversation would have been over and we'd be done, and I don't know on what item we'd be on, but we wouldn't be here. Yeah, so.
Yeah, well, yes, one.
I understand the transparency, and we can have that that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think right now, it's there, we're trying to remove something, we can't make the amendment. And again, I would have hoped that we could have had it as an informational, so we could have this dialogue. Now we have all the chips on the table, we come back in September, and then we make a vote. Unfortunately, that's not the situation. The situation is, it's here now, we've had the informational discussion, we've all had our say. I think we all kind of know where we're gonna be at, what we're gonna do, so now it's a matter of moving forward. Now, if there's something in the contract that
brings up a concern or whatever, then I'm pretty sure that our cabinet, our people will bring that to our attention, and then we can then deal with that and discuss that at that point.
There is one thing, Trustee Campos, to support what you are saying. You mentioned that Trustee Anaya, if she considers in 3 months or 4 months, she can bring it up, she can bring the topic up. However, just a reminder, it has to be on the agenda in order to be discussed. And with all transparency, you and I, we need to agree to be on the agenda. And there have been some disagreements, right, in terms of putting it on the agenda. So if that is going to be the issue, then she will never be able to have it, not even if it's an informational item. Unless you agree on how often it's going to be on an informational item, and it's the board decision, so we have to put it there. It's not going to depend on you or me.
Correct.
Does that make sense? So you make the decision every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever, informational item to consider if we continue to need these services. But that way we have a base. Otherwise, none of you are going to be able to bring it up because it's not agendized.
Yeah, and that's different. Bringing it up, if you want to discuss it every month on informational, that's different. Bringing it up as an action item to continue to move, to renegotiate or reapprove a contract is like, okay, why? We've approved it. Why are we approving it 2 months down the road? Now, it's different if you're trying to remove it. It's different if you're putting it on an informational item. That's a different.
Yeah, well, you say that, but there, isn't it a month-to-month contract? That's why, I mean, technically, if we're gonna get technical, it should be brought up month-to-month if it's a month-to-month contract. But I mean, I don't wanna do that, but I'm just saying, it's an argument that I can give, I'm not going to, but we can see it that way. It goes all kinds of ways, basically.
And we can do that with legal as well.
Yeah, but when I see the other contracts, it's a year, school year, whatever. So that's why, and then I see this with a month-to-month. So I'm not trying to bring it up when I don't want to, but you can rationalize it any way. So that's just my point.
I'd like to apologize. I just got some new information. I would like, me personally, no, you guys make your own decision. I would like to table this until we get the updated information that we could release, I guess, publicly. Our hands are tied, and now I understand. Now I got that.
And please don't see this as a waste of time. These conversations are productive, and the public needs to know. That is the objective of having the open sessions, right? To know and discuss these items, know what the position of the board is, because this is your meeting. I'm just putting some pieces there, but this is your meeting, and I'm just providing some information and support to the possible degree.
Okay, but now here's where. So here's where I'm. Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Parliamentarian.
So are we tabling it for action item? Yeah, let's make it action item. Okay. Is there a second?
That way everybody's voice is heard.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't have it. I mean, it was sent to me.
I will send.
Yeah. I mean, I have it in the car, but I don't know.
Each and all of you.
The original contract too. Because I just want to make sure, because I know it was.
The latest one, I think, was in October, Ms. Fessner?
And that wasn't sent to us, or?
Yes. No, but there was another one, right? It was, well, we are going, we are going to review our board meetings agendas, and we are going to go from month to month, working backwards until we find the latest one. And you are going to be provided with the latest one. Sure.
Okay, moving on, 14.5, sorry. Oh, it was taken off. I didn't see it. I'm on 14.3. Okay, so, yeah, so, okay, so it's no longer 14.4 that we have on here? No, I understand that, and so something moved or shifted.
Yeah,
because here,
the one that he pulled,
okay, got it,
the one that
okay.
he was pulled,
Yeah, and I'm like, holy cow.
that throw us out.
Yeah, I look at the
All
number,
the
like, wait a
time.
minute, this isn't, yeah, I just want to, you just, the attachment? So we're voting to table, correct? We're voting, okay. Okay, so I just want to make sure. So it is recommended the Board of Trustees to table this item for the September 10th, 2025 regular board meeting. Do I have a motion? Trustee Garcia, thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Trustee Hall. Seeing no discussion. Oh, okay. Any discussion? Well, we've had the discussion, so now we're just discussing whether we're going to table or not, so.
Which one, Tony?
That's the one I've read. So I don't know what you guys read, but that's the one I read.
I'm not seeing it.
That's the one that's in my car. What's that? I'm sorry?
Do you have what they're talking about? What David Nelly sent us?
No, they must be looking at,
I was looking at something else.
they must be looking maybe at when the item was voted in. Oh, no, I guess the February one. And so I don't understand the documentation. But it's not what I see. So I'm Anna, should we take a recess, or? Oh. Oh. Is there, okay, so I still have 14.4. I thought it was supposed to be 14.
Well, it's 14.4, but we're voting to table it, so it still exists on the item.
So we could vote now that it popped up?
Okay. And it did pop up? Oh, there it is.
Mr. Cole, Mr. Bill? Oh, okay. He's coming back. Oh, okay. He is staying here.
Yeah, so please vote. So now we're voting to table, well, and you can read it, to table it so that we can bring it back. Okay. So, sorry, upon a vote being taken, the vote was 4 in favor and 1 opposed. And then moving on to 14.5, personnel. Certificated personnel action items. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Trustee Hall. Do I have a second? Thank you, Trustee Garcia. And seeing no discussion, please vote. Okay, upon a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. And we are moving on to 14.6, personnel classified personnel action items. Do I have a motion? Trustee Garcia, thank you on the first. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Stafford. Seeing no discussion, or if there's any discussion. If not, please vote. Upon the vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Moving on to 14.7, personnel. Approval of a memorandum of understanding between the Paris Union High School District and the Paris Secondary Educators Association regarding the BAR program grant implementation extension for the 2025-2026 school year. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Trustee Hall. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Stafford. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. On a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Moving on to 14.8, personnel approval to revise the job description title of Assistant Principal Athletic Director to Assistant Principal of Athletics. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Was that Trustee Stafford or Hall?
Yeah.
Stafford, thank you. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you, Trustee Anaya.
Quick question. What school is this for?
All the schools.
Oh, all the schools.
Yeah,
It's just-
all the schools.
Okay, all right. Just job description.
Stafford, I think, was the first, and was it Anaya the second? Anaya the second? Okay.
Oh, I didn't read it right.
Now, please vote. See no discussion.
9.
14.9. No, I'm sorry, 14.8. Sorry, 14.8. Now it's up. Yeah, this is. That's. Yeah.
Again, because of the change, you pull one item.
No, that, yeah,
Oh, it's a different topic.
yeah. Now we got it. Now it's right. So now that's the one we need to vote on, 14.8. Oh, it doesn't say? I've got 14.8.
Yeah.
I got 14.8. It's just not calling for a vote.
Everything's staying the same. If you can vote, go ahead and vote.
I voted.
Well, and so
I
now
think.
I click and it won't,
It didn't.
it doesn't acknowledge it. Oh, yeah. Server error. Eight. Mhm. We just haven't voted. Or, oh, okay, so my vote that I put in went through? Okay, got it, okay. Okay, upon the vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Moving on to 14.9, personnel, approval of revisions to job description, Director of Technology. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Do I have a second? Thank you, Trustee Hall. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote. On the vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. 14.10, curriculum resolution number 01, 2526, public hearing and resolution for pupil textbook and instructional materials compliance regarding the Williams Act material sufficiency for fiscal year 2025-2026. Do I have a motion? Thank you, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So, but we take a motion and do the public hearing? Okay. Do I have a second? Okay, thank you, Trustee Garcia. So the public hearing is open at 8:11. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
Thank you, ma'am. The public hearing is closed at 8:12. And so now we vote. Seeing no discussion, please vote. Upon the vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed, and we're moving on to 1411 business, the authorization for purchase of capital equipment above $10,000, August 2025. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Trustee Hall. Do I have a second? Good. Oh, Trustee Anaya, thank you. Seeing no discussion, please vote. Upon a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Moving on to 1412, business authorization of purchase orders above $50,000 for August 2025. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Trustee Hall. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Anaya. Discussion, seeing none, please vote. Upon the vote being taken, we have 4 in favor, 1 opposed. And moving on to information items. 15.1, business revolving cash report for July 2025. And moving on to 15.2, board policies, personnel series 4000. And thank you. 16.1, closed session if necessary. Dr. Ross?
Yes, President Campos, it is necessary.
Okay, thank you, sir. So we will motion to adjourn into closed session. Do you have a motion? I'll make the motion. Make the motion to move to closed session. A second now. Okay. I got first, trustee Stafford's got the second. And now, seeing no discussion, please vote. Oh, yeah, I mean, the vote was, upon the vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Those of you, feel free to, yeah. 17.1, reconvene in public session at 10:14. So do we have a report of the closed session, Dr. Ross?
Yes, President Campos. In closed session by a vote of 5-0, the Board of Trustees approved the settlement agreement for OAH case 2025-020-116 with the Paris Union High School District. Ayes 5, noes 0. Jamie Anaya, yes. Steve Campos, yes. Edward Garcia, yes. Charles Hall, yes. And Anthony Stafford, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
18.1, other items by the superintendent.
Just one. I have several, but I'm going to say one. CSEA president mentioned that Dr. Williams has been doing a wonderful job, right? So we appreciate that, but I wanted to tell you is that who recommended it to you? I did. And you approve it. So that's what I wanted to say. I make good recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 19.1, other items by the Board of Trustees. Trustee Anaya? Thank you. Trustee Stafford?
Nothing for me.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Hall?
No, we're good.
Okay, thank you, sir. Trustee Garcia? Okay, thank you. And the only thing I'm going to add is that as an informational item, I do, and I've kind of mentioned this for the past couple of years, but depending on obviously how our budget looks, I would like to start talking about potentially bringing, hopefully using Prop 28 money, to bring kind of I want to see the arts kind of flourish. And so I think if we have, I don't know how the title is, but a principal on special assignment or what administrator special, whatever it is, but someone to kind of oversee our arts department, not only partly marketing, because I want to build it up from the ground up. So, and I don't know how that job description would be. I don't know if anybody out there has it, but I do know that we have beautiful facilities. We have several different feeder groups. And if we have someone who can start making those connections, because we have the mariachi thing going on, and I just want to make sure that everything, that we're providing that for the community, making sure that we're offering opportunities. Obviously, we saw FFA and how that does it, and so we can see that, start just having discussions and kind of, what we would do for that, because I think it'll be a huge benefit, and, it'll bring support to the arts programs. But again, it's going to take a lot of collaboration, a lot of discussion to kind of figure out what that looks like and go from there. So that's pretty much it. Outside of that, thank you all for being here so late. We apologize for the lateness of the meeting, but if there are no other questions, 2.1 adjournment. So thank you. Regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for August 13th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Trustee Hall. Thank you, Trustee Garcia on the second. Seeing no discussion or no questions, please vote. Upon a vote being taken, the vote was 5 in favor, 0 opposed, and this meeting is adjourned at 10:17.